cool. Here's some areas that I've seen other MMOs doing this better. And I don't want to have to quit this MMO every time I want that trait. Like if you guys could perfect your own system, it could be unique, but like this is just not as good as the way the other game's doing it. Especially like with 14 in particular, the glamour system is so clumsy to how every other game does it. So
yeah.
But you've not even done coils, you know your place. Old Swords giving you 80%. Yeah, and then coils synced is, I mean, that's a journey. You've got to commit to, you've got a group with you that's really committing to some punishment.
And to Zombie Jesus's comment, did somebody bring up SWTOR or ESO? And chat definitely brought up SWTOR during the pod, but we didn't even bring up ESO housing. But I've heard really good things about that housing system. But like every one has a strength and a weakness. Personally, I'm partial to how New World manages it, because you can have multiple houses. They exist out in the open world. I'm not off in my own little area. And then I can, and I'm not decorating the houses either. Like if you ever step into my house in New World, it's
my
like
New World house decorated.
I was like, oh man, I got to put something up on the wall for this buff. Okay, fine.
I had a friend that she was dating this guy for a while, but they were both working a lot. So they'd only ever gone on dates near their work. They'd never been to each other's homes.
Yeah.
And he'd always said he's a minimalist. And she always noticed that he kind of wore a lot of the same clothes and all that. And she's kind of appreciated. He was a really simple guy. I'm a minimalist. And then finally, after they've been dating a while, she comes over. They're going to go somewhere. And he needs to swing by his apartment. And he opens up the door and they walk in. And she goes, "Oh my God, you've been robbed." And there's a recliner in the dead center of the room. And next to it, there's a nightstand with a single book on it and one lamp. And the rest of the room is empty. And she's like, "You've been robbed." He goes, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
He was just a minimalist. He tried warning her. A true minimalist. He had like a mattress on the floor with sheets on it. That was it in his bedroom.
Not even a frame?
Nope. There's no need for that. No need for that.
That is...
It had like a box spring under it.
It's interesting. You know what really killed minimalism though? Like I was reading about this.
Stuff is great.
Stuff is great. No, the pandemic. All of a sudden it's like, oh man, I need more than one fork. Like oh man, like I'm out of soap, etc. It would be really nice if I was able to have one more of this. So we saw that movement. Like Julie and I, we do kind of a whole minimalist run on the house every year. We kind of go room by room, and it's just like we follow basically what you said to us years ago, where you're like $20 to 20 minutes. Like if you
replace with $20 within 20 minutes of your house, toss it.
Well, and especially
you'll find
because
only 1% of that needs to come back. So you're out like
what we do is we move it into a box, and if we go and say, "Oh, I need that thing," okay, that's great. But what we find is we don't, and then we just go look in the garage and say, "Oh, here's all the boxes of stuff." Take it down to whatever donation center, because like someone else could use this. It's not doing us any favors. But yeah, oh dude, WildStar, man. Like we talk about things that I would love to see come back. I was really enjoying WildStar.
Somebody owns WildStar.
Yeah, I think if we're gonna put money on it, I would guess Embracer.
Okay.
I'm sure that got bought up, acquired, and rolled around quite a bit over the last several years.